to live stream the webinar. Please buckle your seatbelts. Oh man! All right, I think we might be doing this. We might be live, man. How's it going?
I think we are live.
Oh my! Okay.
It's going fantastic.
Sorry, I always have to mute my other screen there. Cool, man. So welcome to our Winning Online Friday video. We took last week off, of course. Wait, did we take the last 2 weeks off?
We did.
Just one. Last week.
I think it was at least last week. No, maybe it was 2 weeks. I don't remember.
Weeks,
it all kind of blurs together. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's true. It's been 2 weeks, all this like Christmas, New Year's stuff, and we're like, oh yeah, it's time to get back into our routine.
What'd you do for Christmas? Anything cool? We got some good stuff to talk about today, but we need to hear about this, right?
We do. Yeah, no. So I was down on the Oregon coast. So some of you may or may not know that Jason and I both live in the beautiful green and sometimes rainy Pacific Northwest.
Horrible.
And so we live in the Seattle area. Well, the rain does, but it's a pretty nice place to live, minus the rain part. So we live in Washington. I'm originally from Oregon, which is kind of like, Washington's little brother. And right on the Oregon coast, there's a place where I grew up, and it's called Astoria. And if you've ever watched the movie The Goonies filmed there.
Also, Kindergarten
Free Willy was filmed there. Kindergarten Cop was filmed there. So it's got like this crazy movie history to this town. In fact, they took the old jail and turned it into like a movie history museum.
Really?
Now, so it's pretty crazy how that all has come about. But anyway, we stayed on this place that's right on the water, on the pier, like literally big bay windows. You're right on the water, and the big ships, the shipping container ships that are cruising up the river to go to Portland kind of just cruise on by and park right out front. And cool. It was this really nice place, massive fireplace, and the whole family was just kind of hanging out there, and it was this really cool place. So it was
awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
And how about you, sir?
Good time. We did a road trip to California, and it was a 12-hour drive. We did it down and back in, I can't even remember, 6 or 7 days, but I should know that. I think it was 6 days. And so that's a lot of driving. Wow. We listened to 3 books with my teenagers, listened to them in the car, all cryptocurrency all day long.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And then for Christmas, we gave them real gifts, but I also gave them and my nieces and nephews a portfolio of crypto coins. I called it my crypto Christmas.
Nice. That probably went up in value since they got it by a lot.
It has.
Yeah.
They've actually
it's the best Christmas presents, accumulating in value.
They've been addicted to checking their phone app because I showed them how to set it all up, and so it's kind of cool. I told them I'd hold it for them personally until they set up their accounts, and then I'd transfer it to them. And if they never do that, then I won't sell it and just give them the money, but I'll give it to them in 10 years. In 10 years, I'll do that.
There you go.
Now,
nice.
whether those cryptocurrencies are even in existence in 10 years, who knows? But
that's the risk they're going to have to take, not managing their own thing, right? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story, let's just follow what your kids do with cryptocurrency, because they're going to be plugged into it, understanding how it all works, and just follow their portfolio investing.
I know. Well, yeah, they're learning, and it was actually interesting. Those 3 books I'll just mention, if anybody's interested in looking into it, is one is called Crypto Assets. Super good book, amazing. It's a real legit book. It's a McGraw-Hill, best-selling book. And then the other book is called The Internet of Money, 1 and Volume 2, and that's also fantastic. That book, those 2 books, are a collection of just transcriptions from this guy who gives speeches. And he's a total, crypto insider type guy, early adopter, early advocate type guy. And so there's Q&A sections and everything. It's really actually very cool, The Internet of Money. So anyway, yeah, fun times. Well, are you ready to jump into 2018?
I am. Yes, let's jump in. So a couple topics that I think we're going to touch on today. But the first one is kind of going to take up the bulk of our time, I believe.
Yeah.
And that will be on blogging for e-commerce. Now,
Yep.
oftentimes I don't think e-commerce sellers think about blogging in terms of a real effective way to generate revenue, but they're wrong. I think that's what you're going to kind of. I think that's what we're going to talk about today. And yeah, that would be a mistake.
Yep.
And so, kind of give us a little bit of an overview. Walk us through kind of your take on it, what you've been doing, which I'd love to get into as well.
Yeah, well, if you're not familiar, you're just watching this, then every month Kyle and I have a specific training topic. And so this month, January 2018, is blogging for e-commerce is the topic. And so, yeah, I'm pumped about it. Blogging to me has been a passion for a long time. And so I, even before we had an e-commerce business, I was interested in just writing. And so interested in the idea of blogging. Now, I get the fact that some people aren't into writing. It's a labor for them. Other people, it's like a compulsion and they want to do it. So, but nonetheless, once we got into the e-commerce business, and it didn't take very long for me to realize that we could actually use blogging for very specific tactical reasons. And so, let's talk through some of those. And then to the extent that you're in our inner circle and you're watching this, then you'll get all this training. If you are watching this later, or the way we do this is we do a training topic with our inner circle, and then we publish it on Udemy as a training class in the future. And so, you'll get this content in full, the complete training, if you follow either one of those tracks with us. And so I'd love to talk about blogging for e-commerce, how it works, my thoughts and opinions, how we're going to structure this training a little bit. So what do you want to know, man?
I love it. So typically when I think about traffic, or when you think about blogging in general, you're kind of thinking about it from an SEO perspective. So how do you kind of marry the content development and the SEO piece of that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So when you think about blogging, you think SEO. So call that a use case for blogging, right? So the use case in your mind for blogging on a e-commerce website is search engine optimization. By that you mean traffic from the search engine, right? So traffic strategy from the search engines. So that's one use case. So we talked through that one, but there are a couple others we could talk about as well. That use case for SEO, the use case then is, if you look at traffic, you've got two big audiences that potentially could come to your site. One is new customers or new visitors, and the other is returning. There are only two. That's pretty binary.
That's true.
They're either new or they're returning. I like that. And so then the question is, how do you create content on a blog that search engines will either like or love, and hopefully not hate, in association with the specific keywords related to your product? And so this is not rocket science. I mean, you could pick any topic, any product topic, and say to yourself, okay, there's a very simple path for writing related to that topic, so that when people are on Google, they would type in a phrase in association with that product, and they would come up. And some of that is different for new prospective customers versus returning. And how you do that is a function not only of how well you can write stuff, but also I'm what you might call a emotionally driven.
Oh, I thought you were like a writing machine. You're just like cranking out content.
I'm what you call a cyborg. No, I'm what you call an emotionally based and an impulsive writer, where I get a topic I'm passionate about and I write about it because I'm writing from the emotional just passion for the topic. Other people are very more engineer-like in their approach to blogging, where they'll say, okay, like an engineer would say, what are the 100 most important keywords in connection to my product, my market, my niche, my customer? And how do I intelligently go through that list and create an engineered set of articles that support the use case for those, and then so that I've got an awesome article. And like pick a topic. Like I'm looking over my I'm looking out over my vast property right now.
Your vast property.
By that I mean the green belt behind my house, and it's not my property. And but I think to myself, okay, what's a topic for, like, if I owned a business that was focused on blackberry abatement, blackberry bush abatement, and I have some product for that. Well, then I put my thinking cap on and say to myself, okay, for search engine optimization purposes, how do I find the phrases that people would be searching for related to blackberry eradication? And how do I write standalone articles that use those keywords so that the search engines know that my site is about that topic? And you'd be surprised how often people have e-commerce sites, and if you just look at the keywords associated with their site, like the commonly used words, it doesn't even match their product. Right.
Right.
So it's like, how is the robot at Google headquarters in Mountain View, California, supposed to know that you are selling, a blackberry eradication product if you don't have a lot of keywords on your site associated with that? So that's a few thoughts about SEO related work. Yeah.
So you mentioned, so actually, let me back that up, because I think that's pretty interesting, because if you have sort of this process in place based on keywords that you want to have on your site to capture that search traffic, hopefully, right? Yeah. But then I do think that it's important that you write from, and you can take that and write that from a place of like passion. But I think in what you were describing too, as your writing style, is I think that there's a need for both of those. Like there needs to be kind of a systematic approach for particular keywords, but there also, I think, needs to be something that's just written passionately by the owner or the product creator, or something that that captures the emotion of the potential visitors to the site.
Totally agree, 100%.
I think how you kind of describe that makes a lot of sense to me, and I think both are kind of necessary as part of your content strategy. Yeah,
totally, because that whole topic of like, do what you love, sell what you love, being passionate about your product or whatever. It's almost like you're playing poker with customers, and they don't know if you're really passionate about your topic or not. But there are times when you tip your hand, and one of the times you tip your hand is the volume of how-to, educational, interesting thematic topic that's written on your website. And if you go to an e-commerce website and there's just nothing there in terms of the founders, content, concepts.
Right.
You say to yourself, I mean, is this just a cheapo, $10, website somebody made? But if you go to a site and you read the About Me comments, like, here's all the ways in which I'm passionate about this topic.
Right.
And the other piece on that where business owners really fall down in their thinking is, when I start to talk about blogging, sometimes their first comment is, how do I find a freelancer to write all my blog articles for me? And can I do that for $4 or $5? Do I have to spend $5 or can I spend $4 to get a 400-word article from my website? Well, I hate to break the news.
I'll do it for you for $1, but I'm only going to use a spinner, and I'm just going to like jumble words together and give them back to you, right? Like, I mean, there's literally software that does that, where they just scramble. It's like they stuck a bunch of words inside of a blender and they turned it on and it just kind of threw together and like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
This is your SEO article.
Yeah. So I hate to break the bad news to people, but dump the Scrabble box upside down, or hire the VA from the Philippines to write you 100 articles for $10. It's just customers just see through it, and it's not the ideal outcome. So, but one of the things you have to resolve is how are you going to do the writing and what are you going to write about, and that whole system. Yeah.
So in the training that we're going to cover this month, are we going to talk about process and how to kind of define building out a plan to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
very cool.
I mean, this is a trade skill, And just like
Right.
any other trade skill, if I was like, hey, Kyle, you want to be a journeyman electrician? I'm like, okay, here's
You're
show
like,
up.
yeah, I'll wire your house tomorrow. It may burn to the ground, but I will wire that thing up.
But not if you use our process. So this is a trade skill,
Exactly.
a specific process.
Right.
So the training we're doing this month will be a step-by-step. Here's how to approach the topic. Here's how to start on day one. Here's how to do it most efficiently. Here are mistakes to avoid.
Right.
Here are the use cases or reasons for blogging in support of e-commerce. Yeah, really, I would say call this a trade skill level.
Yeah.
Like no hype. We're not into like, hey, you could make $1 million if you blog twice. Like that kind of stuff won't fly. But
no,
but there's definitely a systematic approach to this that everyone could be doing. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think for me, there's definitely this love-hate relationship with blogging, because it is put in a lot of time at the beginning and you just kind of basically like consistently chug away at it, right? But then the hope is that as you develop that sort of core amount of content that gets ranked and get visibility, you start to gain all of that organic traffic and that's the cheapest traffic you can possibly get,
and
it's sustainable and hopefully long term. And sustainable and long term, and that's really, really good. So I think this is an important concept, because it's easy for site owners and to just be like, okay, I just got to do paid traffic because I got to drive sales, and that's nothing wrong with that if your margins are good and you're committed to learning that process and developing that trade. However, there comes a point in time, I think, where you're trying to lower your overall customer acquisition cost. And if you can master the content aspect of it, and the content marketing and the blogging, then over time that customer acquisition cost will go down, and that will be one of the goals. So now it's a function of, are you willing to start practicing and developing that skill set now, even though you still may be relying on paid traffic. But if you start now and you start to develop it, it'll pay off in the long run. I think that's something that I tend to kind of not really pay much attention to, but I probably should, based on
money is
talking about.
Money is a shortcut. So like if you're, it's almost better if you're broke. Like if you say, I have no money for my e-commerce business to do marketing, how could I get 10,000 visitors to my site? In an ongoing way, I would say start blogging and start podcasting and start, vlogging. Start the organic social. But the top drivers of traffic on the internet are, and this is long-standing truth, right? The top one is organic search. Well, so blogging is a direct tap in to that opportunity, and it's free. So, and it is the top driver on the internet of traffic. So organic search, direct typing of the URL, is the second one, where people just say, oh, I know Lita Art Supply is what I want to get for this product. I know where I'm going on the internet, typing it into the URL. I don't even search for anything. Third one's Facebook. And obviously when you blog, you have, Facebook is a supplemental kind of distribution system for your blogs. And then the fourth one is Pinterest. Definitely. And Pinterest is literally like crack for your search traffic. I mean, Pinterest is so incredibly valuable to traffic strategies. It's just, there is no better strategy. So those top sources of traffic, paid traffic it's just not, if you have money, that's cool. Blow your money if you need to, but ideally you'll have a strategy for the free, search engine, and free social sharing content through blogging. And then if you have money to spend on advertising, you supplement. Yeah. But just to go straight to advertising,
that makes
missing
sense.
A huge opportunity. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I want to back up and talk a little bit about the difference between writing and building content for acquiring new customers, but also communicating with those returning customers and bringing them back to your site.
Yeah.
Do you have any insight on that? And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, because I think you guys have done a really good job of returning people to your site and made that kind of a part of your brand and part of the ritual of just returning to the site. So I'd like to hear about that.
Yeah. So for us, that's a big metric. And so we're trying to grow we'll generally have in any given month, we'll have about 25% new visitors and about 75% returning visitors. So that's
a crazy number.
Is it?
I think so. I think if you were to think about it, I think if getting that many returning visitors back to your site, I think that's pretty impressive. Most times, especially for e-commerce, right? It's just a one and done. You go, they either buy it or they bounce, and you have to go try to reacquire them again through other means. And I would probably say most of your acquisition or your returning is probably done via organic or maybe through email. Or them just going direct, right?
Or rituals, which is the secret and unknown usage of how to get customers to return. We are a ritual making machine over at Pixie Fair. And so, we make rituals. And that way, you don't even have to communicate to the customer because they know that every Monday, something is special happening on our site that they're going to come participate in. And we do that religiously. We have our Mod Doll Monday, we have our Freebie Friday, and then we have our 12 Days of Christmas and other rituals that we baked into our site so that people just know, hey, I know what's going on over there, and I know when I want to go back, regardless of whether I get reminded or not. So the ritual piece for me is a functionality of returning traffic. See, because, so for example, here's an example. If you go to our website for the first time, you're given a pop-up opt-in for our email, right? Everybody does that. And so I used to give away a couple free products. But then what I realized was, and I would give them this couple unique digital items. What I realized was we have a system called Freebie Friday, where every Friday we have one thing that's free on our site. So, and I do that every Friday. I do it for 52 weeks a year. So then I realized all I need to really say to people is, would you like 52 free items? And that's way more compelling than 2 items. So
that's super smart.
For my email is that great. And honestly, I didn't, this is the funny part. I took those 2 free things that I was standing in the free category to give away and put them back in our catalog. So we actually, they didn't need
more stuff.
So that's
cool
example of a ritual that you set up and you indoctrinate your visitors into. So when the first time they come to my site, they learn about a ritual that benefits them with 52 weeks of freebies, free goodies. And so if that person is interested in my niche at all, I think they're pretty hooked.
Yeah.
And that's how you turn a one-off person into returning. Yeah. And the Freebie Friday thing we do every week is specifically tied to a process that we use blogging for. And we use blogging in contests a lot. And the contest piece is the other tie-in that we could mention too. But yeah.
Cool. Because it sort of sounds then like these things are built kind of into your brand.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you've got an opportunity to do, if you think about use case for blogging, if we just stick with the topic of blogging, right? You've got a use case of what you said at the beginning was like SEO purpose. I want traffic from the search engines, so I'm going to blog.
Right.
The other piece of it that is vital for blogging is the other use case is brand bonding. Bonding with your brand cultivation in the mind of the customer. So, and most, like if you're like I am, you go to a new website and you're like, I've never been here before. Somehow I got here.
Right.
Who are these people?
Right.
Where's their about me page? That's what I don't know why, but I always go to that first. It doesn't matter.
You're not alone. Like that's like, it doesn't, but that's like the most popular, that's like the second or third most popular page on any website. It's like the about us, the about me, the who are these people? Because people want to know.
Yeah. So that's really, that's in a way that's creative writing like a blog is. So you say, hey, this is about us. Content, and that's your first opportunity to hold your brand out to a prospective customer and say, this is who we are, this is what we believe in, this is why we exist, this is what's important to us, and this is what we do here and how we do it. And we'd love to have you jump in with us. So to me, that's the other piece of blogging is you can unpack that that brand persona in a blog for years to come. I mean, that you have, if you really think through your brand and you say, what's unique about us? And these are intangibles. I mean, it's like, what's unique about us? I don't know. We care about the Seahawks and we're a local car dealership.
Represent.
Ooh, but we're not a local car dealership.
Represent.
But that's, so, you know, if you say that, then there you go. That's a unique attribute of a local business. And so every one of us as e-commerce sellers, if we haven't done that branding work to say, what's unique about my widget? Well, I'm selling it. And so what does that mean about it and me? Then, you know, but the blog is where you can unpack that. And what happens in effectively written blogs is it's like a lightning rod or a magnet that repels or attracts. So if you blog effectively on some of the more, what you might call controversial topics, you will polarize your audience. And it's actually a good thing. See, because to get people to come back to your site all the time, they have to actually click with you, like, and your brand. Mm-hmm. And if it's just so generic that there's no click, then they won't come back because they won't remember you because they didn't care about you because you didn't give them a reason to care. But if you say, for example, we sell this product and 10% of all of our proceeds go to human trafficking causes because we used to be missionaries in Bangladesh and we care so deeply about this topic. Wow. Mm-hmm. You know, like you got 100 customers that show up. How many of them are going to be like, oh, I'm all in on your deal? Now, It might not be all of them. It shouldn't be all of them. But some of them will be, I'm all in with you so much. I'll be back every time you got a new product. I'll be back every time you do something on your website. And that's the power of blogging, is you polarize. And that polarization brings people into your system in a really, really powerful long-term way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So we kind of looked at the use case of acquiring a new visitor, SEO, how to maybe write to boost the brand for the returning visitor, bringing people back. Let's talk a little bit about how to specifically use blogging to actually sell product. Do you do that now, and do you think that that's possible?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously for e-commerce sellers, that's the bottom line.
That's the name of the game, right? Like you got to make sales.
It's called the bottom line for a reason. It's also called the top line.
Yeah. It is. It's all the lines. Like you got to sell the product. Or if you're not, then you are literally just a blogger. And there's nothing wrong with that. But eventually you want to actually, eat. Yep.
So there's 2 or 3 ways that are really powerful. Obviously, 3 things come to my mind immediately. So the first one is justifying the sale. So let's say that you've got a product that is maybe a little pricier than the competitors, or maybe it's a higher price point in general, like hundreds of dollars of price, of cost to buy your product. Or maybe it's just incrementally higher than your competitors, like 20% more. Then how do you justify the sale? And blogging is a brilliant way to justify the cost. That thing I said about, 10% of our profits go to whatever it is, human trafficking. Well, you could write one blog article and get people to your site, and they're dismissing the cost at that point in their mind because they've inserted value and missional purposes above the price point because they've believed in your business and what's behind it, the motivation. Right. So, but in a way though, even that storyline, and I just made that up, it's a cool storyline, but even that storyline justifies the cost. And it enables customers to say, well, here's a reason why I would pay more. And so for any sale, there's a lot of reasons why you have to say, here's why you should buy from us, and here's why you should pay more. You don't say, hey, here's why we charge you more. You just say, here's the unique proposition. And it reduces the focus on price if it's done right. So that's justifying. The second use case I would say is upselling. Upselling is a brilliant use of blogging. So You'd be surprised how many people come to an e-commerce website, and we get a lot of people on our site. They don't even know what's on your website. They don't.
It's true.
You think in your mind everything on your website for sale is obvious and clear to all the customers, but how they come to your website, they come from all kinds of weird links and directions and SEO. Half the time they don't even know what's on your website.
Right. In fact, that's actually one of the challenges that a lot of people in e-commerce discuss, and it's called product discoverability, right? Because if you're at a physical store and you're wandering down the aisles to find whatever product you're looking at, you're seeing right in front of you all of the other products that are displayed, or if there's a nice big, front end display that, is all set up and captures your attention. That's product discoverability. That's much harder to do on e-commerce.
Yep. Absolutely. So blogging effectively is a systematic way in which this could solve that problem. So you can create a whole blog series that basically describes who we are, what we do, what we offer, when our new products come out, why we're launching new products, pre-selling. Upselling is one use. Pre-selling would be another use. Right. I guess there's a second one. Then cross-selling would be another one on top of it. So you have got this product, but then you've got a whole content piece that says, well, here are the options. Now, there is something, called the paradox of choice, where you actually can confuse people pretty quickly and they'll become paralyzed if you don't do it smartly. But if done right, then you've given your new visitors sort of an orientation, sort of like the announcer at the ballpark. Like, hey, here's what's going on. And so you can clarify with people through blogs. And
that's very cool.
If it's done well, it's not salesy.
Right. Right.
Good blog copy is not salesy copy. Even effective sales copy is not salesy copy. And there are pieces of that are important, and we will, in this month's training, we'll go into all that, how to write for effect. So,
no, that's cool. I can't think of the name of the company right now, but there was a company that took like e-commerce products and kind of put them into like a visual selling format. And the example would be, so they put out a blog, but that blog would actually have an embedded image of a bunch of different products that they would put together. Say it was like a bedroom, right? Our designer picked this bedroom and they put it all together and designed it, right? But then each of the pieces are linkable to clicks to that actual product on the site. So they're actually trying to encourage, so they're not selling the product. I mean, they are, but they're showing you what's possible by having a designer do that and then talk about the design, whatever in the blog.
Yeah, we do that on our site as well. We have a whole section that's called Cinnamon's Favorite Things. And so the cool part about that section of our site is that can include e-commerce product on your own site. You can also just use it to transcend your site and send people to other product through affiliate marketing links. And who cares, kind of like, this is good for our customers, so we'll send people there, to buy something, even though it's not an affiliate link kind of opportunities as well. Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah. And I have seen people use like the blog it's literally just a blog. It's pretty text heavy, where they would use that to pre-sell a product. So even paid traffic, instead of going to the product page, would actually send them to a blog article that would tell the story, that would relate a particular thing. And then at the bottom of that article, guess what? There's a link then to the product that they can go and use that.
Yeah. Ezra Firestone, I think, is the one who uses that for a lot of his advertising strategy. He sends people through paid ads to his long form educational content. Right. It's warm up content. I believe that's how his model works that he really describes.
Yeah. At one point, I think he was doing that. I think is it Agora? I think. Yeah. No, I think he's always testing stuff, but I think Agora, right, is a huge publishing company, and they're experts at nailing the pre-sell content blog piece of it. So they're great.
So we'll work through all that stuff in the course this month. Yeah, we'll dive into all that stuff.
That's awesome. No, I'm excited about this now, because I was like, okay, I'm thinking about different ways. Okay, what articles and what kind of content could I be blogging about? So that's cool. Now the question is, how do I make this work well with Shopify? Because when I think of blogging, I don't really think my Shopify website is an amazing blogging tool.
Yeah.
How can we make that work?
Well, yeah. So it's a good question. So Shopify has a blog function. It's like,
that's one way.
Step one, it has a blog function. And the reason we're teeing this topic up is because we've had Inner Circle members ask us about blog functionality. So I did a poll recently, and many people, several people who responded, their response was, nope, I haven't even set it up. So, so step one, understand what Shopify offers in terms of, functionality. Now, I will say that, I'm opinionated in the extreme about blog tools, and I've tried quite a few of them. I think my first blog was on Blogger, and then I moved to WordPress.com and then WordPress.org blogs. I've tried a few different things. Shopify has its own quirks. Call it features, but I would call them weird functions. But it works, and but you do have to. There's a little bit of nuance in terms of how you set up a Shopify blog compared to just if you're used to WordPress, for example. Yeah. So we'll also. I realize that for Udemy purposes, we'll probably market this whole topic just as blogging for e-commerce, and so the whole focus will not be Shopify. Nonetheless, for our students, it is Shopify they run on, and that's why they follow us. And so we will do a whole module on how to optimize your Shopify technology to make your blogging happen. Yeah, you
could use your WordPress site for blogging and use Shopify for checkout and the whole thing. There are ways that you can make them work together, especially if you already probably had a WordPress blog that you started on, you were getting traction, you're getting traffic to it and stuff like that. And maybe it doesn't make sense to blow that up and kind of go to only on Shopify. So those are some things I think we'll definitely dive into in our training, how to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Shopify is real savvy about what features and benefits they offer that integrate. And so, you can, in essence, sell product on any website now with the Shopify buttons. And then you don't even have the Shopify website present. You just have the Shopify cart via buttons embedded on your WordPress site or whatever. So yeah,
that's super cool.
Yep.
Now, I saw in our Inner Circle group, you posted that you got 23,252 blog comments in 12 days. Why don't you, in the last 12 days? Yeah. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Because that seems crazy to me. I know, right?
That's a big number, right?
That's a big number.
I wonder,
most people are like, I got 25 people to comment on my blog. Like, that's a big deal. Like 25,000.
I wondered when I was adding it up, how many websites on the internet in the last 12 days got 23,000 comments. I bet you it puts me in the stratosphere.
I'm sure.
So yeah.
There's plenty of websites that would like to have actually 23,000 visitors in 12 days, let alone blog comments.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about how we did it. I'm happy to.
I think it would be cool. Why don't you spill the beans here?
Behold, the beans are being spilled. So it goes back to what we've been talking about. We create rituals on Pixie Fair, and one of the rituals we created years ago was the 12 Days of Christmas. And so the way it works is pretty straightforward, and it's pretty effective. And so I'll describe it for you. Basically, what we know about our customers is that Christmas Day is the day when many of our customers get a new doll, because we're in the doll clothes pattern niche. Who knew there was a niche that was doll clothes patterns, but there is. And so a lot of moms, your wife maybe comes to mind, and have a lot of daughters, and a lot of grandmas are out there, and they're all giving dolls to each other. And then they're all saying, what clothes does this doll have? How do you find clothes for these dolls? Are there patterns for these clothes that we want to make? And so January is our biggest month of the year for that reason. So we wanted to have some kind of Christmassy giveaway, and we really liked the idea when we were brainstorming what ritual we could create. we realized that we could create 12 days of Christmas. And as I understand it, I'm not a history expert, but as I understand it, the 12 days of Christmas was Christmas and then the 12 days after it. So that's what we decided to do, not prior to Christmas. We do ours after Christmas. Right. So Christmas Day is the first day. And so what we engineered was basically 12 days of contests, and they're just comment contests. And so for the 12 days of contests, we have special unique prizes. And on the first day, it's one prize that someone wins. The second day, it's 2 prizes. And the third day, it's 3 prizes. Well, so by the 12th day, it's 12 prizes. And we work with all of our partners that publish on Pixie Fair to come up with all the prizes. And so what we've done is we've kind of made this almost like Christmas winter wonderland of giveaways, where it's like 6 people win this and 4 people will win this. I mean, we double up, you know? So it's like, you know, nice. So there's just a pile of giveaways. And so that's the prize. And then the simple entry method is comment on the blog post. And so what we realized was here's where it gets interesting to us. And I'll give you one example. You know, first thing you do when you do a blog contest, comment contest, is you say, well, what do you ask people to say on the blog, you know, as their entry method? So
I love Jason.
Yeah,
he's the best marketer I've ever seen.
Yeah, so those types of contests get old real fast. So, but what we realized we could do was we could use these blog contests to get intelligence about our customers. So, and so what we do is we engineer the questions to try to get maximum information out of the comments. And so, for example, online classes is a big deal to us on our site. So we have a question. What is your favorite class on Pixie Fair? Or which one would you like to see us offer if we don't offer what you'd like? Now that does 2 things. If they have taken a class, they can give a recommendation. Oh, I love the Design Academy, social proof for all the other readers. Or if they haven't taken any class, they would be like, well, I'd like to see you offer how to do, I don't know, barbecue instruments for dolls. I don't know, whatever. So, so they give us ideas. Now, some of those ideas are brilliant ideas. And, you know, like in, you know, for classes, some of the ideas will be like, whoa, that's a great idea.
Right.
Some of the people will say, well, I think you should do this class. And we're like, we already do that class. We don't say that, but other people do for us. And then, so see that, so if you've got, so for example, and I'll just do the rundown real quick, but on the 25th of December, we had 2,211 comments on that day's contest. On the 26th, we only had 1,238. On the 27th, it bounced up to 1,653. On the 28th, we had 2,971. And then it just goes from there. Our biggest day was 3,040 comments in a single day. And every one of those comments is helpful to our business in some way. We're learning something, or our customers are, you know, sharing with each other. Yeah. So that's 23,000 comments in the last 12 days. And today is the 12th day. And today, when I looked early this morning, it was 590. That'll probably be 2,000 or 3,000 comments by the end of the day. So that 23,000 will probably be closer to 25,000 comments. Yeah. And honestly, any business on any e-commerce business on the internet could copy that idea, adapt it to your own business. I mean, you won't threaten me by doing that. You knock yourself out. So yeah, and customers love it.
That's very cool. Yeah, you know, that's very cool. I love the idea of just kind of transforming your blog not only into this one directional content channel, but actually creating the dialogue with your customers and using it to learn and adapt and serve them better. I think that's really, really smart.
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. That's why I love blogging. It's a fun topic. And this month, we're going to really make sure, my goal with this training is that everybody who takes it in our Inner Circle program, or, you know, in the future when we publish it on Udemy, every person actually takes an action step to set up a blog post that does good for their business. And if I can coach you through that first step or through a theme of topics for your blog, then we will have succeeded, because it will help your e-commerce business. Yeah.
Super cool. So how would, if somebody's going to be watching this either on Facebook or later, how would they get access to this training for this month?
Yeah. So Inner Circle program, winningonshopify.com is our website. And so jump in there, join our Inner Circle program. Our Inner Circle program, in my view, is, and we've been told by some of our participants, it's ridiculously cheap. Like, the value we give to our Inner Circle, I feel like for $19 a month is a killer screaming deal. And so $19 a month, jump into the Inner Circle program. Obviously, you could just join for a month if you want. You actually get all the prior trainings, so you get a huge amount of value. And so that's easy. That's winningonshopify.com. And then we'll probably have this published by, sometime in February, I would think, on Udemy.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Super cool. Speaking of Udemy, last month we talked about where to sell online, and we looked at multi-channel retail options that are out there, right? Like being a multi-channel seller. Any news? Like, so it's people in our Inner Circle, they've already kind of consumed it and are working through it and are working through the worksheets and are trying to apply it to their business. What about everybody else?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think we're going to have it ready to go live this weekend. So it's where to sell online. Cool. And the where to sell online topic is, I'm super pumped about it, because I got to be honest.
Right.
Like, if you go look anywhere, Udemy or YouTube or wherever, and you look for training on whatever, Facebook ads or Instagram or any topic, there's just, a million options. I've never seen any training like this that really helps sellers optimize their sales channel strategy. It's the deep end of the swimming pool, I guess. Maybe it's because that's why no one else is doing it, but it's not actually complicated. You just have to have a training that's logical, that helps people work through, where do I sell online and why do I sell there, and how do I optimize my sales channel strategy? And that's what the whole gist of the training is. Yeah. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
I love it. No, that's awesome. I think it's super cool that people have access to it now, even on Udemy. And we just encourage it. One thing that we offered, I think, was to kind of do some coaching with people that had actually completed the worksheet, right?
Yep.
And walk them through it to get clarity. So if you're watching this and you do end up buying it on Udemy, the offer still stands. You just need to reach out through the Udemy platform when you have it, and we'll be happy to jump on a call and kind of walk through that with you. So.
Yep. The biggest opportunity, and just if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, this whole idea of this training is, I think, Kyle, you were the one who heard from Channel Advisor, over 200 viable marketplaces now for online sellers to choose from on the internet. Massive choices as e-commerce sellers. Huge. And it's only going higher. That'll, next year or 2 years from now, that'll be 500 or whatever. And so it means that each one of us has to have a battle plan. Where do we sell?
Right.
Why do we sell there? And how do we systematically keep our eyes open to new opportunities so that we really are as dialed in as possible in terms of our sales channel strategy? So that's the whole gist of the training. Cool, man.
Very cool. No, it's been good. Been
good
fun.
Day.
I'm getting excited about blogging, right? Like, and that is that in of itself is like a miraculous feat. So, because it's not something that usually go like, yes, blogging.
Talk to you.
More like, oh yeah, blogging. But yeah, no, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Now I think about ways I can implement this. So,
secret sauce, my brother. Secret sauce. It's in a way. I mean, I think if you look at the big sites on the internet, they've got a blogging strategy that's dialed in. And if you want to be a big e-commerce seller, you want to work through this topic for sure and really maximize it as an opportunity. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, we wrapping this up?
Very, very cool. I think so. We're right on time. I think we said an hour and we are pretty close. So
good deal. Good deal.
I think we're good.
All right.
So looking forward to connecting with everybody again next week here on this Facebook Live, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about blogging, I would imagine, as we work through the month. But we may not. We may decide there's something super cool that just pops up that we want to tackle too. But you never know. Never know. We might do a little crypto show here or there somewhere soon. Stay tuned. But yeah, we're excited. It's going to be cool, and this has been a lot of fun, man.
No doubt. All right, buddy. We'll see you next time. And if you're watching this, appreciate you hanging out with us.
All right, sounds good.
If you're watching it via replay, thanks for watching it. And be sure to tune in for next time and hit us up on Winning on Shopify to consider joining Inner Circle, and then also for all the content we have there. Yes, we do blog there, so you can go check out the articles there as well. So, all right, buddy. Later.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.